would like to begin by acknowledging the traditional owners of the country where we are making this live broadcast, the Goolagin people, and those of each place where you're watching from. We pay our respect to their elders past, present and emerging, and to any First Nations people joining us this evening. We're so pleased to be able to bring you this live launch tonight. We have our fusion Sanchoy Bao and our Fruits of Pollination mocktails here, which you may see disappearing throughout the evening. We would like to say a big thank you to the creators of this signature finger food and mocktail/cocktail, and we hope to see images of what you have made online. Just tag us. We also hope you'll share images of yourselves at home with us. We will be staffing our social media presences in real time for an hour following this presentation and look forward to connecting with you all then. It's been a challenge creating a COVID-safe exhibition during a time of significant restrictions, but if there's one thing we like here at COPAC, it's a challenge. I would now like to pass you over to our Acting Manager, Julie Kiernan.
I too would like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of this country, the Goolagin people, and pay my respects to their elders past, present and emerging, and welcome everyone who is joining us tonight. Cross-pollination has grown in reputation and standing since its inception in 2013. Last year we were overwhelmed by the response from artists and visitors alike, and our planning was well in hand for this year's event to be bigger and brighter before COVID took hold. Plans for an in-venue exhibition had to be cancelled, but with the determination and enthusiasm of Nat, the support of our management and the Collicotway Shire, and the pivotal sponsorship from Tom Dennis and Tandy, we've been able to develop an alternative format which we're excited to be unveiling for you tonight. We are grateful for the technical expertise assisting us this evening, Nick and Sam. In previous years, we've stood back in awe of Nick's skills in transforming our Black Box Civic Hall into a mystical place of inspiration and possibility, assisting the exhibition curators to showcase each artwork as an individual and defined piece, but also part of the whole that is cross-pollination. This year, Nick and Sam are using the marvels of technology to enable a shared celebration from homes and gathering places across the Shire and beyond. COVID safe, of course. So thank you to everyone who has participated in our cross-poll journey this year, our sponsors and supporters, friends and family, and most importantly you, the artistic visionaries and creators who helped to make our Shire just that little bit more livable and culturally rewarding for so many. This year we do not have any feature artists. All shortlisted entrants and their inspiring artworks are equally featured. And before we look at this year's entry, could I please remind you that you'll be able to see these wonderful artworks on the website and on social media during the exhibition.
Number 1 is Solitude by Tamara Russell. Created using copper wire, reclaimed ceramics, recycled eco-dyed silk shirts and thread, and standing 30 centimetres tall. This work speaks to finding solace during the COVID pandemic by entering a positive, constructive engagement with ourselves, finding our inner richness during this difficult year. Number 2 is Invaluable by Joanna Wade. Created using freehand stitching on muslin. Invaluable reflects that life-giving resource, water. Water in its many shapes and forms, rivers, streams to stormy oceans, and the life it sustains. This piece is approximately 1.5 metres from top to bottom. The third work is White Caps by Heather Frizzle. This felted piece is 2.5 metres in height. White Caps looks at the idea of fighting against a wave or even a second wave, using our strength to overcome the unpredictability of life. Inhabiting by Patty Behrens is number 4 in the exhibition. Composed of tarlatan cloth and local clay, each piece being 25 centimetres high. Inhabiting explores material relations as an ethos of living, the interactions of the artist with the world to make physical the mental and material processes of inhabiting place. Number 5 is Body as Landscape by Jenny Grenfell. Using painted, wrapped and knotted twine, Nuno felted fabrics and handmade pap, this work references the concept of body organs and the topology of landscape as a source of life, the organs and arteries of the body, the caves and rivers of the earth. Number 6 is Rock Stars by Christine Larico. This free motion machine-stitched and embroidered applique is composed of 5 pieces on stands nearly 2 metres in height. These portraits document and celebrate the most famous, flamboyant and larger-than-life greats of our musical history, whose music plays on as the soundtrack of our lives. Day of the Dead by Barbara Rowe Hebb is the 7th piece in the exhibition. This loom-woven piece is 82 centimetres in height. The piece speaks to how our COVID year has been one of re-evaluating life and death, conveying the day of the year the dead are remembered with colour and ceremony, memories coming to life. Number 8 is River Dwellers by Carol Eagle. This work uses vintage linen, cotton and silk thread. The artwork is approximately 20 by 20 centimetres. It tells the story of the artist's childhood time on the Murray River, of life packed and unpacked into boxes, so much life spent entwined along the bends of the river and surrounding bushland. Number 9 is Migration by Carol Eagle. It is composed of paper clay, cloth, wool and spun nettles, and stands 40 centimetres high. Depicting Jeanette Lebrun, the artist's first ancestor born on this land in 1864. This piece looks back on lives past to better know this skin we walk in. My Life Jacket by Mary Ellen Belville is the 10th piece. It is 85 centimetres high and made of neoprene, silk cotton, repurposed wetsuit, garments, brass wire, plastic, repurposed tie-dyed and machine-embroidered taffeta. Designed to clothe the artist for the myriad circumstances of life's journey, with precious memories secreted within. A jacket in which to weather life's storms. Number 11 is 60 Days, 60 Stones by Deborah Saunders. Forming a mound around 30 by 30 centimetres and up to 15 centimetres high, it is made from stone and wool. The work is the artist's response to the lockdown restrictions and a busy scheduling of supervising remote learning. It became a daily process of covering one stone with crochet, which also utilised the limited materials the artist had available with the restrictions. Number 12 is Life's Journey by Jane Bear. This felted work is 29 centimetres high. The hat represents the many of the aspects of life's journey. Life, the journey we navigate from the time of our first breath until our final rest. The 13th piece in the exhibition is Cell Celebration 2020 by Angela Baldwin. With 3 pieces, each with a 50 centimetre diameter, made of mod rock wire, rust paint, thread, wax and paint. A microscopic interpretation of a living plant cell. Cells are the story of the birth of life on Earth, and this is created to remind us of the special magical properties and infinite pleasures cells bring to our lives. The Life That Lies Beneath by Irene Pagram is the exhibition's 14th piece. This work stands 2 metres high and is composed of repurposed botanically dyed paper, fibres, cinema, wire and wrapped LED filament. Mycelium grow under the surface, thriving in the dark, forming complex connections and communicating between plant life. If we could see this in super slow time, the way a tree does, the ground beneath us would glow with myriad lights to rival the galaxy above. Number 15 is Pandora's Box by Heather Barker. The box is 25 centimetres high, with the cloud adding another 29. It is made of silk, silk organza, cotton and synthetic fabrics, wool wadding, beads, braid, aluminium fly screen, commercially dyed and hand-dyed fabric, which is hand and machine stitched. Life wasn't meant to be easy, as the Greek myth of Pandora's box attempts to explain. Once opened, out came disease, poverty, misery, sadness and death. Only hope was left in the box. Number 16 is a collaboration by Heather Barker and Jane Bear, For the Love of a Lake. Made of silk, wool and spun paper, it is hand-dyed, felted and hand-woven and stitched. Life began in water. It is our responsibility to care for our waterways and wetlands. This work is a recognition of and a tribute to our beautiful lakes and the water that is essential for life. Number 17 is Geraldine by Sharon Treese. This mixed media work is nearly 2 metres high. The artwork is a representation of the artist attempting to rebuild after struggling with depression. It highlights how we are made of so many different layers, textures and components. Never perfect, a part of nature, each of us unique and beautiful in our own right. Number 18 is Artifact by Joanna Wade. Composed of eco-dyed wool blanket remnants and woolen yarn, this piece is 50 centimetres from top to bottom. The elements of this work float loosely in space and embody the concept of an artefact. Artefacts bring meaning and understanding to life, reminiscent of museum artefacts and the way in which museum displays fragments of significant pieces and tell a story about culture, history and ourselves. The 19th work in the exhibition is Undulata by R.R. Pascoe. Embodying the undulating ebbs and flows of life, 600 linear metres of 12mm wide millinery hemp braid with ginseng buntal, sewn with approximately 4,000 metres of silk thread, hand-pleated and meticulously sculpted, reflecting natural forms through natural fibres. The work is 154 centimetres in height. Crown of Life by Fiona Harper Harwood is the 20th piece in the exhibition. Composed of merino wool and silk fibres, hand-dyed silk satin and plain weave fabric, flax linen thread, silk thread, glass beads, Swarovski crystal beads, fluorite crystal, jade crystal beads and wire. This work reminds us that all life is simply dust without water. Blessed water, giving life clarity, hydration, consciousness, and aiding formation of natural fibres into the crown. Water is the binding nature of DNA, of soul in life. Number 21 is Envy, Under the Microscope 1, Resistance by Carol Redlich. This machine knitted work is 119 by 107 centimetres. Envy is like a wound or tumour, an ulcer of the mind and canker of the body. Its corrosive action is said to impair the vital processes of digestion, resulting in grievous maladies. Number 22 is Linton Wings by Christine Larico. This work is composed of Australian cotton, recycled cotton, aluminium, black steel, and it stands 2.7 metres tall. It speaks to the tenuous relationship between life and death. In the Linton bushfire over 22 years ago, one truck took survival action whilst the other was lost. This work honours the firefighters on that day. Number 23 is Forever Pink Bloom by Chelsea Sharp. This artwork is 30 centimetres by 30 centimetres. The Forever Pink Bloom is the bloom at its finest moment and fully blossomed. Unlike a living flower, it will not slowly wilt, discolour and die. The work represents taking time to appreciate moments of life and finding life's beauty in a single flower. The 24th work in the exhibition is Frog Garden by Hilary Peterson. Made of silk fabric, natural dye, ochre, cotton and thread, this work is 118 centimetres high. Frog Garden investigates the fragility and beauty of some of the nature found in the artist's garden, with natural dyes used being sourced from plants found there. The presentation is inspired by scrolls the artist saw on travels in Japan. The final work in the exhibition, number 25, is La Vie Velveteen by Noni Leola. La Vie Velveteen was inspired by the beautiful intricacies and diversity of life. It celebrates the divine feminine and all that it embodies in this life. I would now like to welcome Julie back to the lectern. Julie is the acting COPAC manager and our absolute rock in the storm that has been 2020. Julie will announce the winner of the CrossPollination Adaptation Life Art Award.
Thank you, Nat. This year has forced us all to adapt, being flexible and ready to meet life's challenges during a pandemic. The work that has been entered is a timely reminder of the flexibility and adaptability of artists. Whatever life throws at us, it is art which gives us the voice to express and the opportunity to reflect on our experiences. The winning artwork certainly achieves this. The judges were very impressed by the entries, deciding in particular to highly commend 5 works, and this will be displayed on social media. However, they both selected the same work as this year's winner. And the winner is Linton Wings by Christine Larico.
The judges felt that this work expanded on macrame to develop a fully realised piece of art, and were specifically impressed by the significant scale of the work. They also said, and I quote, "It's obviously a very emotional piece that I would imagine brought some solace and focus for the artist in a time of forced isolation and reflection. It represents the importance and healing power of art and creativity. Such a beautiful, heartfelt story relayed and realised in this stunning piece." And now we will read out the full artist's statement. There's a tenuous relationship between life and death. On the 2nd of December 1998, 2 CFA tankers became trapped by fire. One successfully took survival action, the other lost, engulfed and destroyed. Honouring my brother, 5 volunteer firefighters that died in the Linton bushfire in Victoria 22 years ago. lives were changed forever. Congratulations, Christine. I would now like to introduce Tom Dennis of Tarn Warncourt Homestead, or Tarndy as it is lovingly known, our Cross-Pollination Adaptation partner and the sponsor of the Tarndy Fibre Art Award.
Thank you very much for the introduction, and it's really great to be here. I hope everyone is enjoying their drinks and sanchoy bao at home. They're uneaten here still, so pretty keen to get amongst that. So I'm here as a very proud partner of COPAC in the Colac-Otway Shire. Tarndy is a wool growing farm that takes our love of Polworth wool through to offering handcraft fibre and yarn, as well as hosting classes to extend skills of traditional fibre crafts. We also have on-farm accommodation. Tarndy is short for Tarn Warncourt, and it's also short for 180 years of one family's love affair with wool. We even developed our own sheep, the Polworth, at some stage. I'd like to pay credit to COPAC and Colac-Otway Shire for running the exhibition and the prize this year. The easier thing would have been to do nothing, so congratulations to everyone involved on giving something so positive to the community to enjoy. The positivity of making things is well known. The buzz you get from completing a tangible, well-crafted item is the type of simple pleasure that has really shone in the past 6 months for everyone. The sometimes methodical, repetitious process of crafting and creating a piece has been the antidote to the pressures of the outside world. We know this in the woolcraft world, where there are reports of yarn shops constantly selling out of stock, and where, for the few remaining woolen mills in Australia and New Zealand, they've seen the biggest production levels in 30 years. People have rediscovered the simple pleasure of making, and they love it. Cross-pollination is bang on the mark in providing a vehicle for people to show the world the wondrous things they've been making during this period of turmoil. Of the countless lifestyle changes we've adopted lately, I'd like to think we've been given a moment to reflect on some of the hard-to-tackle things, like how to be a good consumer without wrecking the place. At Tarndy, the focus is on regenerative, where we aim to improve things rather than simply to sustain them. This applies to our farming practice, also to our heritage place responsibilities, and by providing products that are as natural as possible, fit for purpose, and have an end-of-use cycle that provides benefits and not waste. This type of design, where products have a whole-of-life cycle approach, from choosing raw materials through to planning how to dispose of the product in the end, is building on the momentum that's called the circular economy. It's a way for us to still consume without wrecking the place. By asking the Tarndy Fibre Art Prize entrants to consider how their piece responds to the circular economy, we acknowledge that art and craft should also be mindful of the impact on the environment. The magic of cross-pollination is that so many entrants already have that in mind, and this is a way to demonstrate to the wider world and lead the way forward in wearing and admiring and finding joy in pieces that only lightly tread this earth. So congratulations to all the artists who took up the challenge and submitted pieces to the Tarndy Fibre Art Award. It's now my honour to present the prize pack, including $500 cash, $500 worth of Woolcraft workshop vouchers, and also a $500 Makers Retreat in our accommodation. So the winner is this magic piece. You know what? We didn't even get to the point where knowing who this is. It's quite a surprise for everyone, but I thought it was magic. Jane Bear, wasn't it? Congratulations, Jane. What really stood out about this piece, it took me a while to work out it was a hat, but it's fantastic in that Jane has identified where the fibre has come from, being First Editions up in Euroa, which is a fantastic business that has been running for a long time and providing very bespoke materials for people to make things with. So it's great acknowledging some of those producers as well that give us the materials to make these works with. What stood out about Jane's statement is that she covers so much time when she talks about where the materials come from and the time she's spent making it, the fact that she'll wear it, then she'll pass it on to her granddaughter, and in the end she says that it'll be committed to the earth as compost, and being wool, it'll compost particularly well. So the idea of the circular economy in not just art but also in fashion really exists, and it's a strong representation of it. So it makes it all much more special. Congratulations and well done, Jane.
Congratulations, Jane. Well, now we look forward to seeing you all online. Cross-pollination is officially launched. Remember, more images, film and other content will appear on social media, so make sure you like and follow CrossPollination on Facebook and Copac_Colac Otway on Instagram. And use the hashtags CrossPollinatioN Adaptaion and the new shorter version, XPolAdapt. And if you're an artist, make sure you're tagging us and using these in all your posts. Come on over, Tom. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. We really look forward to seeing you online. Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers, well done.
Congratulations.
Cheers. Cheers.